Hi, I am here to talk to you today about how to make your Thanksgiving feast vegan inclusive. Now, you might think, why do you need to make Thanksgiving inclusive for vegetarians and vegans? So it could be that your high schooler just came home 2 weeks before Thanksgiving and announced that they're vegan. Maybe you've got a college student who's coming home and bringing their new significant other who's vegan or vegetarian. And the whole idea is to make Thanksgiving as inclusive as possible. And it's a lot easier than you think. Let's talk for a minute about the difference between vegetarian and vegan and what each of them are. So for vegetarian, that means nothing with a face. So just warning you now, do not ask a vegetarian if they eat fish, because if you use the face test, fish have face. Vegan goes a step further, and they will not eat anything that's even a derivative of an animal. So no milk, no eggs, some even no honey. Anything that is a derivative of an animal also they won't eat. For the most part, you actually don't need any special recipes. You can take all of your favorite recipes, and with a couple changes, they immediately become vegan. Let's start with Grandma's famous sweet potatoes. The biggest ingredient that would make these not vegan is butter. And of course, with mashed sweet potatoes, you want to use a lot of butter. So we use margarine, or I found this product this year by Country Crock, which they even say it's plant butter. And right on the package, it says non-dairy. Margarine also technically is supposed to be non-dairy, but if you read the ingredients, sometimes margarine has either whey or casein or even milk in the margarine. And whey and casein are both milk derivatives, so that would make them non-vegan. So we're going to use this Country Crock plant butter, which I just found in Chicago. The Jewel is our basic local grocery store, and it was just right next to all the butter products. And that's kind of it. I like to bake the sweet potatoes rather than boiling them, because I feel like that leaves in all the flavor. So you've got your sweet potatoes, little crushed pineapple, lots of brown sugar, melt in as much of the vegan, the dairy-free butter that you like. The other thing is, now we like to roast the marshmallows on top. Marshmallows are not vegan because they're made with gelatin, and gelatin comes from bone marrow. So what I usually do is make the potatoes, mash them, and then set aside a portion for anyone who's vegan without marshmallows before I roast them with the marshmallows. I will say that in the store this year, I found this product, which is a vegan marshmallow. But honestly, I'm probably just going to give this nice bag of vegan marshmallows to my sister as a gift. I don't know how they melt. And for me, I feel like unless I make it a week before, I don't want to try it the first time on Thanksgiving. So I'll go with separating some without marshmallows, using my margarine or my, in this case, this plant-based butter. And there you go. So now a favorite Thanksgiving staple is very easily made into a vegan dish. The next dish that is a staple for Thanksgiving in our family is stuffing. And in stuffing, one of the primary ingredients is the broth. And of course, you usually use the chicken broth. And that's what makes that not vegan or not vegetarian. So we have gotten this. This one is by the company Imagine. It's a vegetarian. It's called a no chicken broth. You can, of course, use vegetable broth. I find the vegetable broth sometimes has tomato in it, or I don't know, it just doesn't taste as good. This no chicken broth is really good, and it immediately takes care of any issue you have with making your stuffing vegetarian. Just be sure to read the packages on the stuffing that you get. I noticed Stovetop, even their sage stuffing, has chicken stock in the ingredients. Most of the brown berry or some of the other ones do not. So just take a look and make sure that there's no, just even in the breadcrumbs themselves, that there's nothing that would be meat-based. Of course, stuffing where the name comes from, you stuck it inside the turkey to cook it. We have made a really pretty, it makes a gorgeous display on the table. We'll get a pumpkin, which I would probably get now, because by Thanksgiving, sometimes they don't have as many of those really big pumpkins in the store. But we cut the top off and we bake the stuffing inside a pumpkin. It's absolutely beautiful and makes a really wonderful presentation. For this year, I'm going a little bit daring, and because of all the new, really good plant-based meat options, particularly Beyond Meat, they have a really good sausage that even as a meat eater, you can't tell the difference. So I'm planning to go with a a cornbread sausage stuffing this year using the Beyond Meat. But any traditional stuffing, just replace your broth with the no chicken broth. And if you use butter in it, just use your margarine or butter. Vegetables always make a great side dish at Thanksgiving. And honestly, just a little olive oil and a pinch of just regular sea salt, which of course are both naturally vegan, make great seasoning. Brussels sprouts with just a little olive oil and sea salt is fantastic. We've done the green beans, just saute them in olive oil or a little bit of your plant-based butter. And you can even sprinkle those little crunchy onions on top of your beans that have been cooked without, let's say, the cream of mushroom soup. And I have a fabulous recipe for roasted carrots, which are so good. So send me a note in the comments if you'd like me to send you a copy of that. For your desserts, particularly for pumpkin pie, you may want to just purchase a vegan pumpkin pie. I know Whole Foods has one, which is available in a lot of places now. You may want to purchase your pumpkin pie. I've seen recipes for vegan pumpkin pie, but for me, they start going into tapioca flour and dates that you grind up as filler. And if things go a little bit too far from the regular recipe, you as the chef might not be as comfortable cooking with them. And Thanksgiving, it's my favorite meal of the year, and I love the joy of cooking. So I tend to try to make things that I already make vegan to make them inclusive. There are really good, though, I will say there's really good, because pumpkin is so great at Thanksgiving, there's really good vegan pumpkin cake recipes. So maybe don't go with the pie, but you could still get your pumpkin fix by, if you just Google vegan pumpkin cake, you'll find some really good recipes for that. The way we handle the turkey is we have both turkey and we have some sort of vegetarian roast. For the turkey, we keep the carcass rather than putting it on the table. We keep that sort of hidden in the kitchen, but we'll slice the turkey meat and put it on a tray on the table. And for the vegetarian roast, Worthington has a great one, although it's so popular that it's back ordered, I think, through after Thanksgiving. Tofurkey is actually not a favorite. Sorry, Tofurkey Company, but if that's your first taste of it, that may turn some people off. Gardein has a really good one. They make individual roasts that already have stuffing in them, and one of their little roasts are good for 2 people, and those just bake right in the oven. As the Thanksgiving host, or really as a host any time of the year, I always want guests that I've invited to my home to be as comfortable and feel as welcome and included as possible. And so what I have found, without really making a big deal out of it, it's fairly easy to make some of your Thanksgiving classics vegan so that everyone can enjoy all of the foods together. Because of course it's a fun meal to cook and there's so much focus on the food, but it's really about the family. It's about the family and the friends and bringing people together and really being grateful to have so many people that you love in your life. So if this is your first year, or maybe you're just looking to expand your repertoire, I hope that some of these tips for making your Thanksgiving meal vegan inclusive will help. And if you have any questions or any other ideas to share, please share them in the comments.